genius? What do you think it is?
Oh, it's inconceivable that the Giants and Tommy DeVito can go into Washington and beat the Commanders. This is Tim, this New York Giants Straight Talk, powered by Online Big Blue LLC. Oh, you know, it's been an interesting time in Giant land. You have Saquon Barkley talking about loyalty. You have the head coach kind of fraying a little bit on the edges, on the sides. We have reports and speculations that the Giants will not be retaining the likes of either Mike Kafka or possibly even Wink, Bobby Johnson, and a few others. I mean, it's you want to talk about the reshuffle and the rebuild. That's what it is one more time. And that's just the way it is. I thought it was interesting today that Saquon Barkley came out and he was asked a question about loyalty in the NFL. And I want to play this clip.
Do you hope that teams see that, either this team or any team sees that as loyalty or
loyalty means nothing. Loyalty, that don't mean nothing. No matter how loyal, no matter how committed you are, it's a business at the end of the day. That's something that I've learned. So for me, it's the way I try to handle that is not really focus on that. Try my best not to think about it. I feel like every week I have to answer a question about it, which I get it. You guys are doing your job, and that's the only time it really crosses my mind. To be completely honest, because if not, I would go insane. I would lose my mind if I was able to focus on that. So I try to keep the main thing, and continue to enjoy the process, take one day at a time.
And that's just the thing about the NFL. It's a business. Is there loyalty to certain players on certain teams? Of course there is. We've seen that loyalty be given out in droves to the likes of Daniel Jones, and we've seen that loyalty being taken away from the likes of Saquon Barkley. And if you're sitting there and thinking that he is still not bitter about that contract, that the being tagged and having to hear the fact that, well, Daniel Jones is the franchise, Daniel Jones is this, and we're going to give Daniel Jones this, even though he's only had one healthy season. Saquon Barkley's really only had one truly healthy season. So one thing just kind of didn't add up to the other. And for him to basically just come out and say it's loyalty, I don't want to talk about it because it doesn't matter, because it's a business. It doesn't matter how committed you are. It doesn't matter what you're doing. It's a business. And when he came out initially, in reference to the tag and being tagged, he was honest about it, and he was almost honest to a fault. And he kind of backtracked on it because I don't know if it was financially motivated. I don't know if it was motivation in regards to the fact that he just wanted to get the tag and get the contract done and be over with. But he initially basically came out and said, if I was that type of guy, I could just sit out the season and call it a day, but he was loyal. And then he's asked a question about loyalty, and he's like basically saying, well, there's no loyalty here. There's no loyalty in the NFL. So I'm thinking that he is still potentially, I don't know, a little bitter. But at the end of the day, he's going to do what he needs to do. He's going to perform. He's going to be the stalwart running back that we need, because he is going to be the only offense that we have against the Washington Commanders. Even though the Commanders went out and traded Chase Young and traded Montez Sweat, they still have the ability to get after the quarterback. They still have a pretty good defense. They have Sam Howell may be looking to be a pretty good quarterback, or at least a better than average NFL quarterback. So it's going to be another Herculean task for the Giants. There has been rumors and speculation that the Belichick is on the outs, or heading towards being on the outs in New England. And that potentially this could be his last season. This could be his last hurrah. It would be terrible to go out like he did with Mac Jones and all the drama and everything that was going on. But there is speculation that he will be moved on. He's moving on from New England next year, and that he already has a destination in mind, that he already has a place that he's going to be going, or going to be heading to after his departure from New England. Now, my speculation is it'll probably be someplace. If it was me, I'd go to someplace like LA. Go someplace like with the Chargers, or a situation such as that. But of course, there's always going to be speculation that it's going to be a reunion, that he is going to come back, and we know that's not going to happen. These reunions barely ever work out. And for him to come back and be part of the Giant organization in any regards, you were probably going to have to then get rid of Joe Shane, because you know that he is going to want to have, Belichick is, he's going to want to have control.
Next Saturday night, we're sending you back to the future.
So we're not going back to the future with Belichick. I've seen it on Twitter a little bit. You've seen it in different places. It's not happening. Shane is going to get another year. Daboll, unless he moves his way out onto, like I said, go to Buffalo or someplace else, he's going to end up getting another year. I just think it's interesting that, like I said, any time a big name coach that has a lineage to the New York Giants, they're always coming to New York. They're always coming to the Giants, no matter what the situation, no matter what is going on within the organization at the time, they're going to go. Now, listen, I would be ecstatic if Belichick came to the Giants. I could go get out my 1986 starter jacket, my red 1986 starter jacket that Belichick used to have, that I had to have when I was in high school, when I saw Belichick wearing it on the sideline. But it's not a marriage, it's not a reunion that you want. People forget about when Parcells came back, and he came back, and what did he do? He went to the Jets. And then he came back again, and then he went to Dallas. Then he came back again, and he went to the front office in Miami. It's just one of those situations that you want to reach into the past, like I said, and pull that greatness back into the organization. But it's just not going to happen. One of the things that I worry about more is the facade cracking on Daboll. Because I was thinking about it more and more the other day. Some things are really bothering me. First of all, you only scored 10 points at one point in time last week. And you have 2 minutes left in the game. Dallas has gotten all their scrubs. And you as a head coach proceed to run a 2-minute offense, and you run 12 plays and take 3 timeouts just so you could get a garbage touchdown. And I'm not really sure of the thought process of that. I kind of harken back to Andrew Thomas in the blowout loss to week 1. It's already 25-0. You're going into halftime. They score again, and then he goes down. He goes completely out, Thomas, in the third quarter. You already knew he had a hamstring issue. Why did you let him play late into the third? And then he was unavailable for multitudes of games. And I always thought that was really weird. And there was also the fact that he had Daniel Jones in for an extended period of time. He's done that twice to Daniel Jones, in reference to keeping him in from an extended period of time during blowouts. And this isn't college. There's no learning lesson here. And to sit there and think, well, Tommy DeVito could be a part of this team next year. Yeah, maybe as a third-string quarterback. But I don't need to risk injury so I can get my third-string quarterback some reps. And I really don't need to take 3 timeouts and run 12 plays in 2 minutes. And then when he was talking on the sideline about there's no problems. No, there's no problems. I always just love it because everyone's like, well, you seem to be getting it with a wink. No problem there. And now we watched the fight with Sterling Shepard and Darius Slayton. We watched it. We all watched it. He had to go over there and break it up. No, there's no problem there. That's just normal stuff. Saquon Barkley goes over to him being extremely animated about that 4th and 1 stop, that 4th down stop. And what is he? No. Sorry, it's just that's just the way it is every week. Not really. And I know you want to kind of downplay these situations, but you ignoring them also doesn't help the situation go away. And it doesn't make it any better. So there are little things now there's little things now that are just starting to come to the surface. And we've said it before, winning cures a lot of issues. You can be flamboyant when you win. And when you're flamboyant, when you're losing, you're just an asshole. That's just the way it is in the press. You could be colorful when you're leading your division, but when you're colorful and you're at the bottom of the division, again, you're just an asshole. So I get concerned that potentially the wink that we're seeing now may be the real wink. Not the wink. I'm saying the Daboll we're seeing now may be the real Daboll. He deserves another year, 100%. But my other issue is the fact that I don't see us getting any better. And honestly, like I said, yes, we all know we're in the middle of a rebuild. And I've said it before, we're in a rebuild within a rebuild. But the problem is we're not showing the progression. We're not showing a talent. We're not showing, we see some talent starting to be cultivated. Look at McFadden. But we're also seeing a lot of talent that was talent that we are going to be relying on, that we're going to be the building blocks for the next 4 years, seem not to progress. And you can blame Bobby Johnson, you can blame whoever you want, but it all falls on the head coach. And I just get concerned that like I said, that facade is cracking. It's like if you have stucco. Living in Florida, stucco is a big thing. But the problem is you have to have remediation for stucco. Because what will happen is it kind of peels away from the house and animals can get on the inside of it and it starts to crack. And that's what that's what Brian Daboll is reminding me right now. Stucco in Florida. So we got to get the remediation out here and get the stucco repaired. But the more and more he loses, that aura seems to disappear more and more. That something that made him special last year kind of has him coming off being an asshole this year. And I think that's what we kind of need to look at. We're going to go in depth into the Washington Commanders Giant game on Sunday at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Sunday Giant. Make sure that you're there. May have a special guest. Drop it on by. And again, don't forget to like. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to ring that bell because you want to know why. That'd be awesome.